As she said goodbye at the train station, he pulled her back and said, "There's something you need to hear first," he said and paused. She looked confused. He said, "I know you are here for your revenge, to destroy me, but I am here to love you and love you more." So, are you already confused about what's happening in our story? First, let us introduce you to the central characters. You see, the she in our story is Catherine Swan, whereas the he in our story is Ethan Cooper. We have one more significant character in this story. She is Tanya Ray. It all started when Tanya came to Catherine's high school as a foreign exchange student. The day Catherine first met Tanya, she wrote in her diary, "Today when I was walking while having a last look at my assignment, I crashed into Olivia, the high school queen bee. I wasn't looking in front, but neither was Olivia. She too was going live on her social media handle while having some stupid chat with her cosmetic fans who love her glittering nail art, ornamented shoes, and fashionable clothes from big brands. Yet when she collided with me, fell on the ground and spoiled her dress, it was all my fault, mine only." "Stupid girl, can't you see and walk?" shouted Olivia while everyone there looked at me, giggling, seeing my wretched condition. I was angry and wanted to say, "As if you were looking at the front and walking," but I remained quiet, mumbled a small "sorry," and started gathering my belongings, especially my glasses, without which I am almost blind. Olivia and her two besties, or shall I say two standees, weren't satisfied, neither with my silence nor with my small sorry. Thus, when I went for my glasses, one of Olivia's standees, Stella, took them away. Now this is the limit. I can't see without my glasses. Thus I stood and said, "Please, Stella, give me my glasses." "Oh, you want your glasses, Geeky Specky? Here, have it." Saying this, Olivia took the glasses from Stella and threw them to her other standee, Bella. I went to Bella for my glasses, but she threw them to Stella, and this kept on. "What do you want, Olivia?" I almost cried when Olivia said, "Say sorry for ruining my social media live and my morning." "I already did," I said. "You didn't say it to me properly," Olivia said. I looked confused when Olivia smiled mysteriously and came closer to me. "Kneel, touch my feet, and say sorry to me and my followers for ruining our morning," Olivia completed her sentence. "What?" I was dumbstruck. I looked around me. Everyone seemed to be busy watching us, but nobody was there to stand for me. Tears started brimming in my eyes when Olivia swung my spectacles before me and said, "Do you want it, Geeky Specky?" I nodded. She said, "Then do what I say." I understood there wasn't any hope for me. Thus I knelt and was about to touch Olivia's feet, and thud! I was shocked. I stood and found Olivia lying on my feet. Someone had pushed her hard enough that she fell on the ground that badly. I now looked at someone, a girl around my age with curly black hair and sharp eyes. "You! How dare you push me?" Olivia roared, pointing her fingers at her. She didn't look scared. Instead, with an attitude, she said, "Oopsie, look at you. You stooped so low." Angry and wretched, Olivia with her Stella Bella looked funny enough. As she thumped her feet, I tried hard enough to control my laugh. "You know who my father is?" Olivia asked. The girl innocently said, "Why, you don't know who your father is." Ch, poor you. Everyone laughed at Olivia while the girl looked at others and said, "Please help this poor little girl, she doesn't know about her father." Olivia turned red and said, "You dare not mess with me, Miss Whoever." She was going away when the girl shouted, "Miss Daddy Issues!" Olivia stopped and turned. The girl stepped forward and said, "You're forgetting something." Olivia looked confused when the girl looked at me and said, "Her glasses!" Olivia angrily looked at the girl and returned my glasses. This new girl now turned towards me with a soft, friendly smile and returned my glasses. "Hi, I am Tanya Ray," she said while giving me my glasses. "I am Catherine Swan," I said while adjusting my glasses and shaking hands with her. "Nice to meet you, Catherine. Can I call you Kathy? Please," Tanya said cutely. I smiled and said, "Of course." "So, Kathy, I have one request and some advice for you. Which one do you want first?" Tanya said. Advice," I replied. Tanya smiled and said, Always stand up for yourself because people won't stand up for you." I put down my head and nodded in embarrassment. Tanya held my chin and lifted my head. Then she smiled and said, "Now the request." "Yes, tell me," I said. "I am new here, Kathy. Will you be my friend?" Tanya said. Someone asked me to be her friend. Dear Diary, is this even true? I would have one more friend than you. I mean, I did have Ethan once, but he is no more a friend now. But I am so excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow I will not be alone. Tomorrow I will have my friend beside me. Catherine and Tanya have become best friends since that day. None could separate them until that fateful day when Tanya met Ethan while enjoying her sleepover at Catherine's place. Ethan and Catherine practically grew up together. They were neighbors since their childhood, and there were times when they would fight like siblings. But as they grew up, Ethan's life became more complicated. His father fell ill, and Ethan had to manage his studies and part-time jobs to pay his father's medical bills, house rent, and other bills. Catherine wanted to be there for Ethan. She wanted to be his support because she had a massive crush on him and loved him a lot. But Ethan never shared his problems with her. Their friendship suffered, and Catherine became lonelier until Tanya came. But she didn't know Tanya's arrival would screw up his and Ethan's relationship more. One day, Tanya and Catherine planned a sleepover at Tanya's place. Ethan came to Catherine's place to return an old book of hers when Tanya arrived. Catherine introduced Tanya to Ethan, and soon they gelled so well that it seemed they had known each other for a long time. Catherine felt like a third wheel, but both were her best friends. At least Tanya was, if not Ethan. That night, Tanya and Catherine chatted a lot, mostly about Ethan. Soon the trio became best friends, and Catherine became more comfortable because Tanya was a sweet soul. She never forgot Catherine. Even when Tanya started dating Ethan, Catherine was the first to know everything. Catherine felt bad initially, but when she saw both her friends happy, she couldn't help but be happy for them. Moreover, she started spending more time with Ethan now than before, thanks to Tanya. All was like a dream for Catherine, but dreams are meant to be broken because you must wake up someday. Catherine never knew that day would come so soon. It was a week before the prom, and Tanya decided to do something crazy. She told Catherine the plan, and she was dumbstruck. "Are you sure you're gonna do this?" she asked in bewilderment. Tanya winked, wrapped her hands around my neck, and said, "Yes, my sweet Kathy baby. Just wait and watch for Ethan's reaction. He would never have experienced such a thing." "Of course he hadn't. He dealt with normal people before," Catherine said with a giggle. "You mean I am crazy?" Tanya faked anger while Catherine controlled her giggle and nodded. But Tanya couldn't control herself and laughed out loud. Soon they saw Ethan coming toward them. Immediately, Tanya did a knee slide toward Ethan while surprising him in the school. For a moment, all were bewildered. Ethan was about to fall, but Tanya held his hands. She looked into his eyes, sat on her knees properly, helped Ethan to stand on his feet, kissed his right hand, and said, "I know I look crazy, but Ethan Cooper, I love you," and Tanya took a deep breath and said, "Will you go to the prom with me?" Tanya completed her lines, and everyone held their breath for Ethan's answer. Everyone knew Ethan would say yes. Their relationship was an open secret to all. They were ready for loud applause when Ethan said, "Tanya, can you stop being juvenile? Why on earth do you think I will go to the prom with you?" Tanya looked shocked. She stood and said, "Aren't we dating, Ethan? Don't you love me?" Ethan laughed. "I talked to you. Our frequency matched, true. But we aren't dating, Tanya. You are crazy, juvenile, hot-tempered, and a spoiled teenager. I would never date a mess like you." Tanya's lips trembled, but for the first time she couldn't speak a word. I came and hugged her. I wanted to say many things, but Ethan spoke, and I already have a date for prom. All were shocked when Ethan looked aside. They saw Olivia walking towards them in a silver shimmering dress. She came, smiled, and entangled her arms with those of Ethan. Ethan looked at Olivia and kissed her cheeks. Ethan then looked at Tanya and said, "Bye." They both walked away while Tanya fell on her knees, devastated. Catherine knew Olivia was taking her revenge by using Ethan, but Ethan agreed. Of all people, Ethan. As she held Tanya firmly, she swore to take her revenge on Ethan. I will destroy you, Ethan Cooper. You will pay for each teardrop that Tanya had shed today, Catherine vowed. A year has gone by since that incident. Tanya returned to her country, but she and Catherine remained friends. Olivia and Ethan broke up after the prom night, but something excellent happened in Ethan's life. Ethan cracked a jackpot and won a lottery of $10 million. All his problems ended in one go. It became beautiful when Catherine came closer to Ethan. The geeky Specky bloomed like a fresh flower, turning all heads in the high school towards her. Ethan's mouth remained wide open when he first saw her. Catherine asked, "So, how do I look?" Ethan unenthusiastically said, nice." Catherine didn't expect this reaction. She said, "I'm going to meet Granny. Can you drop me off at the train station?" Ethan agreed. They reached the train station. As Catherine said goodbye at the train station, Ethan pulled her back and said, "There's something you need to hear first," he said, and paused. She looked confused. He said, "I know you are here for your revenge. You're here to destroy me, but I am here to love you and love you more." The guard whistled during this crucial moment when Ethan whispered in her ears, "Catherine Swan, I have loved you since my childhood and will continue to love you the way you are until my death." "Kathy, you must forgive him," Tanya said when Kathy told him all. "How can you say this, Tanya? He insulted you in front of the entire high school." Catherine was shocked. She thought Tanya would be angry after hearing everything, but instead she asked her to forgive that villain. "You didn't check your social media today, did you?" Tanya asked over the video call. "I'm hanging up. You check your social media," Tanya said while signing off. Catherine immediately opened her social media handle and found one of Ethan's posts where he tagged almost the entire high school and apologized to Tanya for everything. Ethan said Olivia offered her a few bucks, which he needed desperately for her father's treatment for the entire act. Ethan was helpless because he wanted to cure his father of his ailment. Thus, Ethan agreed. Ethan apologized to Tanya on social media because he wanted to say sorry to her publicly. In the end, he wrote, "Tanya, I always loved you, but as my best friend. Since childhood, I always loved only one girl, my partner in crime and secret sharer. At times, she is mature like my mom, at times childish like a baby. Olivia and her standees may call her geeky Specky. That angers me. But for me, she is my childhood friend, my soulmate, your best friend, Kathy." Catherine couldn't believe her eyes as she read the whole post. Tears formed in her eyes when she heard someone playing his favorite tune on the guitar. She ran towards the window and looked outside. Ethan was standing there and playing his guitar. When both looked at each other, time stopped for them. They could both feel butterflies in their stomach. Catherine couldn't control herself. She opened her door and ran towards Ethan. Ethan stood there with his arms wide open. Catherine jumped towards Ethan and both hugged each other passionately. After a long wait, they are finally in each other's arms. Finally, they confess their love under the starry winter night.